Welcome to Bikini Bottom at the bottom of the ocean.
All right, hold it right there. This is the beginning of my movie.
Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to Paws On Animation and our Paws On Netflix segment.
And today we're covering the new SpongeBob movie that just released on Netflix, Plankton the movie.
This is yet another SpongeBob spin-off movie, this time with Plankton as the focus. And it's a movie.
Yes.
But
before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and keep some future podcasts and all the pause videos.
Thank you so much for joining us today, subscribing, sharing our videos, commenting, everything you do. We appreciate you so much.
Yes.
Yeah, we had to go ahead and do this because it's SpongeBob.
Yep, and we covered the Sandy Cheeks movie, so here's the Plankton movie.
And for those of you who don't know about this movie, which would be very difficult to believe,
Right.
Plankton the movie is a 2025, unfortunately, American animated musical comedy film based on the TV series SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yes.
And it stars Mr. Lawrence, the voice of Plankton, who also wrote the movie and directed the movie.
Yes.
And Plankton decides he wants to take over the world like the brain.
Yes. And here's the gist of the plot. It's supposed to be on Plankton, and he said Plankton wants to take over the world. His computer wife Karen has the idea as a surprise for him. The easiest way was to make a restaurant successful, so we didn't have to take the secret formula. He didn't like it. He doesn't listen to her. He doesn't treat her as an equal. She snaps, and she decides she's going to take over the world, and she does the plan better in under an hour. And now they have to stop her. That's the movie.
Now, this brilliant SpongeBob masterpiece runs 84 minutes and has a budget of $790,000 wasted dollars.
Wow, and they didn't have to break $1 million this time.
They should have broken the script. Sorry, Mr. Lawrence. We love you as Plankton, but so far these movies that are spinoffs, and this is the second in a series of SpongeBob character spinoffs following the first film that are coming to a Netflix near you.
Yeah. And would you believe this is the second time that a SpongeBob movie got leaked long before it even came out? And
Playmaker told us.
Right. And it didn't even make a big deal when it was leaked. And it really didn't make a big deal now when it got officially released on Netflix. That should tell you a lot. It got released twice and no one really talked that much about it. And the worst part is that for some, I think the standard is so low. It's like, well, it's not as bad as the Sandy movie. That was about the best you could really say about it. It was not as bad as Sandy, but it's not that great either. And we may have somebody that says, but I liked this movie and I like the Sandy Cheeks movie.
Good for you.
Good. Glad you found some enjoyment out of this.
Now, it was originally conceived to be a half-hour special, but it was eventually put into development as a feature by Viacom CBS. They decided they wanted to produce it as one of the spinoffs.
Maybe it would have been better off as a special.
Now, it did have some good music because you had Mark and Bob's Mother's Bob both working on it, if you recognize their names. If not from other things, Ren and Stimpy was where they got their start.
Yes. And in here, it's a musical, and you would think a villain musical would just knock it out. The songs are fine, but nothing really stood out. Any of the songs stood out in this movie. And yet again, I don't know what's with the animation now. They keep fumbling the villain couple in an animated movie now. It's like, how do you get this wrong? How do you get that wrong?
For one thing, it was too long. It should have been an hour or less.
Just an hour.
Would have been even better.
Yeah.
I think the 30-minute idea probably was the best thing for this.
Yeah,
because it tended to drag gags and jokes on way past.
That probably would have made it way better. Yeah.
Now here's something interesting. In China, this film was theatrically released on March 8th. It was distributed by the China Film Group Corporation, so I guess it's attempting to get another audience. It grossed over $500,000 from 26,030 showings.
Oh my gosh.
Making it to 8th place. On the second day, The film dropped by 42%.
Oh, well.
And made $290,000 from 55,000 showings. So
well,
you had more showings, more than doubled, and it made less money. It dropped down to 10th place.
Oh my
That should tell you something. That even the world over, people knew this was not.
It was just why does this exist?
Some critics bashed it. Some said they gave it a 3.5 out of 5. Some said they liked the animation, but most critics said the CG animation was lacking.
Yeah, you could tell the difference in the quality even from the previous film.
And another thing is that this movie had very few people in it. Very few characters.
Yes.
That's how they kept that budget down so low, because they didn't end up drawing the rest of the Bikini Bottom characters.
Right. And when they were in there, they didn't have that many lines. Mm-hmm. Squirrel didn't have a line until the very end of the movie. They made sure he was pretty much cut out. Patrick, kind of the same thing. Yeah, they had actually less lines than the Sandy movie. And I think this is where it's going now. The more they do these spin-off movies, the less dialogue the characters have, unless it's SpongeBob.
And you could tell that they borrowed from other franchises. One was they borrowed from Dexter's Laboratory.
Yes.
And Dee Destroying the Lab.
Yes.
And we were like, as soon as we saw it, oh no, oh no, oh no.
Yeah, and they, I guess, were trying to do their take on the villain couple in the movie, like the Wish concept, and that should have worked because you've enjoyed these two in the whole series, but somehow they got to this movie and they did not go all the way with the idea of them working together. They had them literally be apart the rest of the film. That was definitely a downside.
And they borrowed from some other franchises, but unfortunately it's not even worth mentioning, and I'm serious. The best part of this movie was, as always, the voice performances.
Yes.
That was the best part of the movie.
Yes, even if the dialogue was kind of, they did perform everything well. And
you were mentioning about the problems with the CGI.
Yes, the animation, I know somebody's going to probably defend it and say, hey, this looks pretty good. Well, a SpongeBob should look better than this. It doesn't look good. It actually looks worse than the last movie. It's like they took the animation from that Sponge on the Rhine, which didn't look bad. Then they toned it down a bit for the Sandy movie. Then they actually cut even more for the Plankton movie. I can't imagine what the fourth movie's going to look like. And the animation, they're just going to be like little models not moving because the animation's getting worse every movie. They don't even want to do the movies in 2D anymore.
I think if they gave us a script that was interesting, a story that was fun, you'd be forgiving of the animation. You really would.
Yeah,
because you'd just be happy you're getting something good out of the SpongeBob franchise. We heard from Mega TriStar that there should be another theatrical movie coming out.
Search for SquarePants is the next film. I don't even know anymore.
At this point, I hope they don't find it.
You know, I think there are just some SpongeBob fans that are just going to be happy that they're getting content. This, I think unless you're hardcore SpongeBob and you're just happy to see new movies and projects and stuff, and you really don't care about the quality, you just like you're getting more of what you like, then you'll enjoy this. No, it's not as bad as Sandy, but it really missed an opportunity to do a good villain-focused movie for SpongeBob. It really could have worked. And just need a stronger script.
And one other thing that Rascal pointed out is that instead of having his wife have the face that normally you associate with her, they decide to upgrade her.
Yeah, a bunch of times in the movie, it goes from like when you see the heart monitors in the hospital and it has that wavelength, and they keep cutting to an actual face on the monitor, which makes no sense because the whole performance is supposed to come through the voice. They even, when they do retcon backstory of how they met and fell in love and everything, I'm not kidding, they did that in this movie. They took the I went to college joke a little to the max. And the same thing, had the emotion face, and it just kind of takes you out of it. It's a minor detail, but really it's just more things that's just so average about this movie. It's not worth going on about.
And that's the final thing we want to add. Part of what is a problem is that they keep retconning the backstories.
Yeah.
And that just takes away from what made this franchise lovable and the characters lovable and the stories memorable. I guess they're trying to make it new for a new audience.
Yeah, I
for
think
those
so.
of you that grew up with them since 1999, they said, screw you. They're just going to get a new audience. You know, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Now, if you've seen Plankton the movie, and really hope you haven't, let us know in the comments. What do you think? Did you like it? If so, tell us why. If you didn't, tell us you agree with us or you had other reasons why you didn't like it. And if you didn't watch it, pass it up again. Just like Sandy Cheek's movie, don't watch this
Don't
movie.
bother.
There's better things you can do, including watching earlier seasons of SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yes, and if you all know my subscribe for updates, week reviews for anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us today. Subscribing, sharing our videos, commenting. You know you are
Your specials. Thank you so much for watching Mask Entertainment.
And Mom Entertainment.
Have a toontastic day.
Peace.
Don't touch anything without asking me first.
Yes, sir. Hey, Plankton, can I touch this? Sorry, Plankton, I have to touch this. Woo! How about if I touch this one just with my pinky?